Only on Fox tonight, it's probably the last place you'd expect a fire.
I remember thinking in the surgery, oh my gosh, am I dying? Is this what they call the light?
It may sound like an episode of House, but experts say it happens. Patients burned by fire in an operating room. It's rare, but the consequences are devastating. Let's get straight to Elizabeth Hopkins for an eye-opening look at surgery fires.
It's hard to pinpoint exactly how many surgical fires break out, but experts we spoke to said up to 200 people in the U.S. are burned in the OR each year.
My whole face was involved in fire.
Kathleen Osberger was having 2 moles removed from her face when she became part of an extremely rare group, surgical fire victims.
But it was burning inside, burning off my lip and burning my whole face and into my nose.
Osberger was burned in what she thought was a simple procedure at a Chicago hospital. She believes oxygen collected under the surgical drapes, feeding a fire sparked by surgical tools.
All of a sudden I just saw this beautiful golden light. And I remember thinking in the surgery, oh my gosh, am I dying?
Osberger's injuries were so severe, her own mother didn't recognize her.
She came into the room and she looked and she told my brother, oh no, that's not the right room. And she walked away. And it dawned on me right at that moment, oh, I'm in real trouble.
Osberger has had more than a dozen surgeries to try to correct the damage to her face and breathing passages. In 2003, she settled a malpractice lawsuit against the hospital for $6 million. Here's a simulation showing what can go wrong. It's called the fire triangle. Oxygen used in anesthesia, plus flammable surgical drapes and gowns, combined with a single spark from surgical tools, can equal disaster.
You can have serious or life-threatening burns within just a few seconds.
Massachusetts Dr. David Robertson is part of the American Society of Anesthesiology's task force on preventing OR fires. He says patients having surgery on their head or neck are particularly vulnerable.
There have been a number of fatalities that have resulted from severe burns on the inside of the breathing passageway, which are not always a fixable problem.
Overall, Dr. Robertson says the risk of surgical fires is very low. Both Dr. Robertson and Kathleen Osberger say doctors need to train for surgical fires, because even a few seconds hesitation can make a huge difference.
It just needs to be routine, like grade school fire drills.
We checked with the Rhode Island Health Department, and they say surgical fires aren't tracked in Rhode Island, so there's no telling how serious the problem is in our state. In the newsroom, Elizabeth Hopkins, Eyewitness News.
The American Society of Anesthesiology is in the process of issuing their first ever guidelines aimed at preventing OR fires. The final recommendations will be published in March.